I went to Office Max and kind of looked around, and I found a check program. And so I bought it. It was only like $30. So I took it home, and I went into the programming of it. And I made some changes to the program because I had took programming classes in high school. So it was still, functioning in me, and I've done some programming in the military. So it was still there. So I took the copy of the check, and I duplicated it.
Right.
Not for the same amount, but for a different amount.
Okay.
Okay? Like 1,500, 1,000, 1,500. And so I called my friend back over. And so when he saw it, it had the watermarks, had everything on it. He was like, oh my God. He's like, this is nice. He's like, do you think it'll go through? I said, the only way to find out.
Yeah, is for him to deposit
Yeah,
it.
for him to deposit or go to a check cashing place, I told him.
The $25,000 would have probably gone through.
But we didn't know.
Yeah.
We're in our pre-criminal infancy stage.
Yeah.
And so he took it, went to Nations Bank. They deposited. 3 days later, he comes back and gives me $500. I was like, oh, okay. He said, that's what this is for. He says, can you do more with different people's name on it? I said, yes, I can. I said, it's not a problem, but I don't want them to know where you're getting them from.
Right.
That's my first thing. Well, nobody know where I'm getting from. I've worked 2 jobs. I don't need the headache. So then I did a few more checks. I got
This is all based on this one. This is a business check, correct?
Correct, a
All
business check.
based on this one business account using
Correct.
that routing number, that
Correct.
account number.
Correct.
Are you changing the check numbers?
all that's getting changed. What I did, it had never been tried before. When I rewrote the program of this check program, I went in and changed some things on it. And I'm not trying to relitigate my case. I'm not trying to, make it sound like this is a good thing. No, it was a bad thing.
Right.
Okay. And I know that. Okay. I raised the numbers, the account number and the routing numbers. I raised them a millimeter and kind of slanted them a little bit. So when they went through, they would continually circulate. The bank would say, okay, the money, the check is good, hadn't come back. So we keep circulating. And they would give you the money. So, and that was with that one business check. And so I did maybe a total of 40,000 in different amounts that added up. And those checks were all over Houston. They're all over Houston.
And these are different people depositing these checks in their accounts.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, or taking them to the check cashing places and getting them cash. And so my cut would come back through him. So he would bring me like $5,000 to $6,000 one week, and then bring me another $4,000 or $5,000. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm happy. I'm paying bills. I'm taking care of my personal business.
Right.
Okay. Then he brings me several more different business checks. And he was like, these are different ones. And I looked at him, I said, you're going to continue doing this? And he was like, I don't see you giving back that 10 grand plus you got here. And I was like, okay. And he was like, you're making more doing this than working those 2 part-time jobs. And I was like, but I don't mind working.
Yeah. And
You know, I had been working since I was 14, so I didn't mind working, I told him. It makes it a little bit easier, and so I took the checks, and then I made them. I had to order some more check paper,
right,
which you could do back in the middle 90s. You could order it with no problem. And some of them came with the watermarks, some didn't come with the watermarks. But I could easily put the watermarks on the checks with no problem. And so we did the new ones. And we didn't do them in Houston. He would take them to Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Corpus, and put those out there. And he bought me back a substantial amount. And it blew my mind. I was like, whoa. We before 10,000,
Now
Then-
it's what, 20, 30?
No, it's like 40 and 50,000. cash.
Where is he getting people to deposit these checks?
I didn't ask that question.
Right.
My only question was just give me the names you want on it, and that's it. And what we did, we would take one of those business checks. Once we did that number, then I would shred it. That way we'd never go back and use it again.
Right.
And so this went on. We're talking, let me see, this 97 going into 90, about 98. 98. Now I'm getting into the banking system. Okay. So I'm doing it. I still got my little 2 part-time jobs, because I want, W-2 time. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure I'm doing what I need to do to make sure I'm looking good on paper. One thing I tell people don't put garbage in a storage unit. So whatever he would bring me, I would put it in my storage unit. I never kept any of that cash in my apartment. Okay? And I never let him know that either, because, hey, I don't need anything coming back to me.
What about the computer and the printer and everything? Is that in your apartment?
That was in my apartment.
That's not good.
Well, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. Nobody would ever come to my apartment.
The police will come to your apartment.
Well, hold on. The police. Well, wait a minute. Let me get. I'm gonna tell you what happened. So you'll know. I do have brains. Okay. I'm not crazy. Okay. Eventually, I did move the computer and the printer I was using out of my apartment into my storage unit.
Did you feel like it's getting hot, like something might go wrong, or you just precaution, just in case, or did you feel like something's wrong?
It was precaution.
Okay.
Because in U-Haul they have plugs, so you can always plug something in.
Yeah.
And do what you need to do. And I had a complete setup inside U-Haul.
Right.
Okay. So nothing was at my apartment, so I have to worry about it.
Inside U-Haul storage.
Yeah, U-Haul storage unit.
Okay. When I think of U-Haul, I immediately think of a truck.
No, the U-Haul
This is
storage
actually
unit.
okay.
Yeah, U-Haul storage unit. Like
I
I
know
said,
they had storage. I didn't know they had storage unit.
they got storage units.
Okay.
Yeah,
I believe you.
I had a medium-sized one.
Okay.
Okay, so I had the printer and the computer in there. Okay, and so whenever he came, he would come to the apartment, and whatever he needed, I would have it already done for him in an envelope. But I started wearing surgical gloves, the little plastic gloves.
Yeah.
I started wearing those because I didn't want my fingerprints on anything.
Right.
Okay, but he didn't know that, because whenever I gave him anything, it would be an envelope.
Right.
Those office envelopes, the big ones, the vanilla ones.
Yeah.
I was giving him those with the checks inside. Okay.
Right.
Because I'm protecting me.
Yeah.
And so after that, this went on. The summer of 98, he bought me some oil and gas checks, business checks. And these were like, what, 400,000, 250,000, 780,000. These were big checks.
Right.
And so I'm looking at these checks and I'm like, dude, the only way to cash those, you're going to need to put them in a bank,
Right.
or a mutual fund. Now here's where it gets exciting.
Okay.
When I said bank, he said, well, we've already been doing some at a lot of the banks. He says, I didn't think about mutual funds. I said, mutual funds, they go through, they won't question it.
Yeah, because they're used to getting big.
They're used to getting big checks. And so when I mentioned that, he looked at me. He said, I might have somebody. I said, okay, I don't want to meet them.
Right.
I don't want to meet them, I told him. So it was the summer of 98, the end of July. And so he bought me a name, one of the guys that was on my case, and I made one out for $565,389.19.
Okay.
Okay. I remember that figure because that was the first one. Well, I gave it to him. He took it. The guy went and dropped it in his mutual fund. When he comes back, 5 days later, and gives me almost $100,000. And I'm looking at it like, are you kidding me? He said, the mutual fund cleared it with no problem. I said, well, the programming allows me to raise the routing number and the bank number, so it's going to go through. It's going to go through for quite some time, I told him. He says, fine. He says, how many more can you do right quick?
When you say go through, you mean it's not going to check back to it's going to stay in the system?
It's going to stay in the Federal Reserve check clearing house. It's going to keep rotating around.
And it's not, so instead of it going through and going back to the actual business, right? You know, because people don't know this. So they used to mail you back. You would get an envelope,
correct, an envelope
with all your
checks.
Right, right.
So it wouldn't go back to the company, okay? And this is where we get caught up with the feds. So then we made more checks. We stacked that mutual account to almost $15 million.
The same account? You just kept dumping them in the same account?
Because the individual knew the fund manager at the mutual fund company. So he was like, he knew him well. He's like, no problem.
Been there forever.
Yeah. Your checks are good. Don't worry about it. Tell me what you need. Well, Bank One, now remember, this is pre-911.
Right.
Where you can go in and get $100,000, $250,000 with no questions asked. Okay? When we did that, we had different people that was helping to facilitate some of this, okay? To make sure this individual would take the check to his mutual fund, deposit in, get a deposit. You know, we had people watching him, making sure,
right.
You know, if he go and withdraw something, somebody's there with him. So it was like a total of 5 of us. Me doing this, the other guy, and then the other 3 watching him, plus a female. Well, they were in Bank One. And the mutual fund company, this is at the end of, November. The middle of November. They went into Bank One. Bank One kicked out $1.5 million in cash. Remember, this is pre-911.
Yeah.
You could go into the bank and withdraw whatever was in your account, you could pull it out. When the Brinks truck showed up, the big one, they had the cash and stuff. And so they took the guy into the back room to the people, and they put it on the machine. It's counting. It's $1.5 million. They walked out the bank with $1.5 million.